I told you everything was packed before you picked them up. If she's missing a teddy, she's not looking hard enough.
The yellow or the blue one?
The yellow bag. I'm pretty sure it's tucked underneath the rainbow blanket.
Rainbow.
Nyla can't find her wolf.
Eyes, I know.
Yes, I made sure to pack it. Remember what happened when we went to the Lake District? 3 full days gone because she couldn't sleep without...
Yes. No wonder he couldn't see you.
Thank you, Uncle Donnie.
Sounds like you weren't looking hard enough, Uncle Donnie.
I need to add a little sense of adventure. Some mystery.
You're the reason Nathaniel wears that bloody deerstalker all day, every day.
And I'm the reason he's inquisitive.
Not too inquisitive, please, Sherlock. Of course, love. Tell the kids we love them and to listen to you, okay?
Okay. You do have fun.
Yes, thank you, Xanthus. Take care of them or I'll kill you.
I know. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Of course I worry about them. But it's not the fact that Xanthus has them. If I didn't trust him, he wouldn't be allowed in the house with our children. God knows he'd convince them to dangle from the staircase or climbing the vines against the outer walls. Something. He can be quite persuasive, and you know that. His whole existence revolves around making sense and having some sort of discovery or clarity about whatever. Say those things to an impressionable child. It makes my stomach churn. I know, I'm just... Not being able to sense them is... It feels like a part of me is gone. I can't hear their breathing or their heartbeats. It makes me nervous. True, I haven't been able to give all my attention to you, nor you to me, so I suppose we need to cherish the silence. Yes, no screaming, no crying, no Nyla waking up in the middle of the night and sliding into our bed. Well, as much as I love that we make her feel safe, I still want to just cuddle up with you. No disturbances, no nothing. Adopting those two is something I will never regret for as long as I breathe. You and them. You're my everything. And I'm not complaining about the midnight madness that happens, or the cleaning up after them, or anything that has us run off our feet. Well, you mostly. You need the energy more than I do. No, you're not weak. That's not what I'm saying. You seem almost superhuman with how you deal with them. And at the end of the day, you never look disheveled or exhausted to me. You're still just as breathtaking, if not more. Really, you win me over every day. Again and again. When you dress to the nines, when you're sleep deprived. In whatever way, you're mine. And when I chose you, I promised myself I'd love you regardless of anything. Well, if not for you, I wouldn't want a family, let alone have one. My brother's descendants are blood-related, yes, but they don't know me or my life, what world I come from, and I don't want them to. I think how I've done it is fine, just making sure they're looked after. But you, Nathaniel and Nyla, that is my family. This is our home. I never thought those words would come out of my mouth. Well, I never thought I'd be the family man. But with you... I never considered being a father. I think I'm doing it okay, but you're so good. So good. You spoil them the perfect amount, and when you discipline them, you make my mind start reeling. I'll leave that to your imagination. Why not? I like to keep you guessing. It gets your mind going too, doesn't it? Seeing you make that confused look makes it all worth it to me. Because I like to wind you up. It's one of my favorite pastimes, actually. And the kids love it. They don't like being subjected to it, but it's what I do best. True. They do prefer it when I tell them scary stories. All the tales about things that go bump in the night. Do you think they need to keep that kind of innocence for so long, though? I know they're children, but we both agreed. We both agreed to tell them about my kind and the other prominent ones. They need to know the dangers, which is why I tell them through stories. And I make sure to preface that they're not made up. I wouldn't want to be a father to them, perceived as a human, and then to scare them in a way that they'll never trust me again, or see me as a monster. They wouldn't trust you either because you never told them. It's a lose-lose situation. I know, putting this on them is hard, but it's the right choice. Believe me. They might not have a completely pure outlook on what's out there, but at least they know who I am. They know who Xanthus is. And when they grow up, they'll understand the dangers much quicker, and they'll be equipped with enough knowledge to know what to do. I mean, think of what we're already teaching them. A human and a vampire, in perfect harmony, completely in love, with a family, and a positive future. And with Xanthus around playing his babysitter, we're the evidence of different species coexisting without death or danger. That's what they see on a daily basis. No judgments, no discrimination. I think the same. I think they'll become the bridge for many, especially Nathaniel. It's fitting, really. And considering who he was named after, I think my brother would approve. Yes, teaching little Nathan how to drive a car and ride horses. That too. He has a knack for history. I do, only because I've lived it. More than 4 lifetimes. And for all those years, through battles and inventions and plagues, you're the only thing worth remembering. It is to tease you, but it's the truth. The wars had me shaken. The plagues constantly reminded me that death was swift in his reaping, and sure, life from then to now has changed beyond anything I could have imagined. But compared to you, everything pales in comparison. Not just your lips and your blood. You are a beacon amidst the darkness. Come now, don't hide away. I like seeing what my words do to you. If all my years reading and writing has refined my vocabulary enough to make your head spin, then I'd say it's completely worth it. Because you're worthy of it. And I don't say that often. Actually, I rarely say it at all. Humans come and go in my life, and though I remember majority of them, I only want to think of them when it's absolutely necessary and then purge them from my mind. But you're all I think about. You have been for years, since I first laid eyes on you. No, not in the alley. I was watching you long before. Have I never told you? Well, it was a clear night. The moon was out. and I was walking through Kensington. And during it, there was this powerful scent. I'd never encountered it before, but it filled me with peace, but sparked an almost crazed hunger. So I followed it through the streets for it felt like hours, even though I know it was probably just shy of 15 minutes. And then I saw you in the distance. Yes. You intrigued me like no other. I was compelled to know. And that night, I stayed close. Out of sight, but I was near. I'm not sure. I just felt like I needed to. Now that I think back on it, it was probably out of protection, but at the time, it's anyone's guess. Well, if you remember having that feeling of being watched, it was likely your co-worker because he was not tactful at all. He was watching you, but I was watching over you. There's a stark difference. And I still do. But I do more than that now, thankfully. I can love you freely. I think it's one of my greatest accomplishments. Because I have someone I want to take care of, and wine and dine, protect at all costs, and make sure you know what love feels like. Well, let's set the mood first, shall we? I think... this will be perfect. Who doesn't like a bit of old blues? Well, if Dantes didn't want me to touch his collection, he should buy his own vinyl player or mooch off of someone else who does. Wonderful. I see him as an older brother who should act like it. And because I am an older brother, it comes naturally to me. Especially when he uses the house as his own personal safe haven. As long as he doesn't bring anyone, I suppose it's fine. No, I suppose you're right. He is family now, isn't he? The kids love him. And he indulges in all their craziness. No, I'm glad. I really am. They can leave the house and have fun. And they're in capable hands. So, we'll leave them to it, so I can indulge in you. Let's dance. Right here. Then come closer. You are timeless. You know that? I mean, I think if you were born in any other era, I would still choose you. Love has never come easily to me. Over the centuries, I've seen the worst humankind has to offer. And I know that at one point I was human. I have the same flaws, and in some of us they're amplified, but when it comes to living life, I never bothered to try. Because I didn't want to attach to someone I'd eventually lose. Another supernatural being wasn't off the table, and I've had my fair share of partners, though none of them ever lasted a couple of years. It was a relationship of convenience, more often than not, and somewhere down the line, we'd go our separate ways. It happened again and again. I could do it so much because I wasn't attached to them. I might have cared about them. A little, but if they died, I would have mourned for a couple of days and moved on. It wasn't that big of a deal. You defied everything. All my beliefs. Of course I was surprised. I still am. All I wanted from this generation was to continue curating at my gallery. Maybe find some artifacts lost to history. I was even thinking mid-century to live somewhere else. Another continent, perhaps. Sell this house, the land, be more adventurous. I can still do some of that. But now I won't be alone. Either way, I don't think I can sell this place anymore. Not yet, anyway. It's a good home for us. But, I've been wondering. Do you think it's hard on them to not be part of a community? I don't want to shelter them. I want them to make friends, and I want the neighbors' kids to incessantly knock on the door and ask for them. Remember where you lived before, when we met? There were a lot of houses, a lot of people. We won't be the intimidating family with riches beyond our years. We'd be regular citizens in a middle-class neighborhood. Maybe with a garden, if we're lucky. A pet or two. And it's just been something I've been thinking of. But we don't have to talk about it now. What are you thinking of right now? Yes, it does feel like we're in our own little world. It's been so long. True, it makes these moments even more special. You're adorable. Unequivocally adorable. Enough to eat. May I? I'm always hungry around you. I've just learned to control it. At the beginning, it was like I was ignoring a ravenous beast, but now it's more of a gentle hum of need. I won't be able to take what I want. I know my boundaries. Relax. Just hold on to me. I won't let you go. Come on, you should know your own limit. You want to sit down? So stubborn. We rarely dance like this, but we can do it tomorrow. Dantes has the kids over the weekend. We can take our time. I know it's tempting to do everything in one go, but for once, we won't be interrupted. And if we are, I'll make sure whoever it is regrets it. Yes, you're only mine to love and tease and annoy and be with for many years, I hope. We don't need something as flimsy as marriage. We have a bond that defies all of that. We don't need anyone's approval. It doesn't need to be signed on paper. I assume you've thought about it? Marriage. That's probably the one thing that was missing from the cookie-cutter middle-class dream. I get it. Your life is much shorter, so time is something you can't afford to waste or lose. Love, come on, you can't dance anymore. I didn't think I'd taken that much. Or maybe I did. Did you get enough sleep last night? I'll make something for you a little later then. Have you, I mean, you must have thought about it, but at a certain time in your life, if you're still as in love with me as you are now, would you want to become a vampire? It's a scary thought, dealing with what happens when you're a fresh fledgling. But I won't let anything happen to you. I'll guide you. You won't hurt the children, I'll make sure of it. Time won't really be an issue anymore. And I'm not suggesting it for me. I know that loss and grief is a part of life. For all of us, no matter what we are. I'm just saying that you have another option. You can defy death for a little longer. And of course, you'll be stronger and more capable than you've ever been. But the price is steep if you can't control it. Vampires are hunters, love. I don't know the science behind it, but the majority of us crave the chase. And you will, but I'll be right there next to you. I've thought about it a lot, almost every day. When I see you tired, when you get sick, and even though I might like it when you have to depend on me, you can have that for yourself. You don't need to remain human if you don't want to. But that's your right, your decision. As for our children, I still feel conflicted about taking away a choice they don't even know they have. Well, I wouldn't have them drink it if it wasn't a mutual decision. Our kids are smart, but they're still just kids. Curiosity can get the better of them, and if they injure themselves beyond repair, then at least there's a failsafe. I don't think they'll ever be immune to it. They've been drinking my blood ever since we adopted them. But again, I'm not sure what that'll do. But we both know that if something happens, somewhere where I can't protect them, then they'll come back regardless. They're too young to understand. If I told them that them dying with my blood in their system starts the vampiric process, well, they're kids. They'll want confirmation. They'll find it out themselves. So it's better to leave it as is until they're old enough to make the choice. We are incredibly overbearing parents, aren't we? No, I quite like it. Being insufferable. No, you're not. I knew you'd be a great parent from the very beginning, and I wasn't wrong. You're attentive, you listen, you're patient, but you also don't let them get away with their tantrums. and you're firm. And they go to you for comfort. Well, they come to me too, but I think they've established our dynamic. I'm the protector from threats they have, and you're the caregiver, the warm blanket when they want solace. You're that for me too. Yes, very, very warm. My anxiety's going down already. Your heartbeat. It's always been soothing to me. I hone in on it when I need a little reminder of home, and when the kids are screaming, it echoes around the house. But when I focus on you, your breathing, it's like meditation to me. I swear, I'm not lying. When I can, especially when you're sleeping, I sync my breathing with yours. It makes me feel that much more a part of you. It's hard to describe without hearing it yourself, but from what I know, vampires are designed to detect those sounds. But for me, you, in your gorgeous entirety, are someone I can never ignore. For 400 years, I felt like I was missing something. I didn't know what it was, but I was numb. I ached for something that gave me meaning. And I was wandering from place to place, never settling. And when I thought I found something of note, it would be an illusion that disappeared overnight into thin air. At some point, I genuinely began to believe that I would never find it. For a long time, my existence only had merit because I was protecting my brother's lineage. And there was a time where I thought, is this all my new life is worth? Yes. Not long after I was turned, about half a century after, I had everything I could have ever wanted. I had riches, land, properties. I could buy anything, go anywhere. But in reality, it was all worthless. And my life reflected that. And now, meeting you was the culmination of one era, and Nyla and Nathaniel are the beginning of another. It made all my failures and empty successes worth something. Love, you are priceless. Nothing holds up to you, nothing. Because you are singular in this world and in mine. I've said it before, haven't I? For however long forever lasts for us. It doesn't matter to me if you become a vampire and stay with me that way, or if you remain a human and age gracefully. No matter how old you become, I will love you and take care of you. I don't have space in my heart for any other. I said it took 400 years to get where I am, to find you, and I'm not letting you go. I'm happy you think the same. I love you. I think I'll continue to love you for 400 more. Think of what our family could look like then. A revitalized Claiborne line. Well, they might not have my DNA, but they'll have our teachings. They'll go into the world equipped with what they need to survive it. I know it in my heart. They'll be a force. There are kids, our grandkids, and great-grandkids when it comes to that. It would be nice for you to see them grow. But don't think about that right now, okay? Think about us. This moment. The present I get to hold. I mean you, not time. Well, you are a gift. Though I wouldn't give that power to a higher being or whatever. I don't want fate to have anything to do with how we met or what the future will bring. I like to have agency, and I believe in creating that future myself, not waiting to see what's in store. I couldn't plan for you. You came out of nowhere. Not that I'm complaining. You and the children are the best things to happen in my life. I don't need anything else. Just this. This feeling of being whole. That my life is much bigger than myself now. Oh, I'm nervous, but I'm prepared. And with you by my side, we'll tackle anything. We're both fighters. We don't give up so easily, do we? Only one of the many reasons why I love you. Do you think I should make a stable? Yes, buy the kids some horses and show them how to ride on the ground. I think we need more life around here. I could build it over there by the river, make a track through the hills. Oh, that's a good idea. Yes, we could do an obstacle course. Not too difficult, but as they grow up, add new challenges. Well, that depends if they want to learn in the first place, I suppose. Nathaniel's almost 8, and if Xanthus keeps going the way he's going, he'll likely want to try archery. We both come from old houses, so it only makes sense. I think he'll be great at it. He's already gifted. And Nyla will likely want to follow in his footsteps. Well, I wouldn't want to give Nyla a proper bow and arrow, so maybe we should get her a suction cup bow and arrow.